Ladies, are you confused with all the bullshit a guy does and says? And then not only that, he suddenly comes out of nowhere. When last week was really a good week between you two, he comes up and says, I'm confused, I don't know what I want, or something along those lines, which then leaves you more confused. Been there, done that, I understand. I think I made videos about it in the past, but I really want to make a video that kind of collectively answers all the questions. Well, two main ones, which is what it actually means when he says he's confused and what you need to do to straighten it out. So to jump right into this, here's the thing. There's several different reasons why a guy says he's confused. The three main ones would be, I would say number one, he's confused in the fact that he likes you but doesn't want a relationship. Therefore, he still wants access to the assets. And what he's actually confused about is, should I let her go? Because if I don't, it leads her on. Maybe I might change later, maybe I might change down the road. Hint, they don't. But I still want access to the assets. So if I let her go, then I can't have that. So he's confused on the decision of assets, not actually you. The second thing is, it means he's not convinced. He's not sure about you. But to just up and suddenly just drop you, it's impulsive. It's not in the best decision because he's hoping, hey, things might change, or at least that's what he's trying to justify with keeping you around. Newsflash, things don't change usually. There's no reason for them to change. That could be a whole other video. But he's not convinced of you, but he still wants the assets, a little bit as the same as number one. And then, of course, thirdly, finally, he's emotionally unavailable. It doesn't necessarily mean he's emotionally unavailable, but it is something a lot of emotionally unavailable men say. But to sum this part up, at least, a lot of the times it is a guy who is either not convinced of committing to you or doesn't like you enough to commit or progress towards something more serious. And he feels like he's leading you on. But at the same time, what he's actually confused about is, well, I like her enough and I like the access to the assets, and if I cut her off, I don't have anything, so let me justify it by saying I like her and things might change later on. And again, they don't, ladies. That's what he's actually confused about, because a guy who truly likes you does not put himself in a position to lose you. A guy who truly likes you should not be confused. A guy who is on the same page as you and wants a relationship is on the same page as you, and it should be progressing towards a relationship. But if he says he's confused, it's I think it's more, there's a motive behind it. I think it's more a selfish motive. In fact, I was talking to a client the other day, and this exact same thing came up, which is why I'm making a video on it. I've been hearing this a lot lately. And I told her, you're an insurance policy. When he's confused, ladies, when he's confused, what he means literally is, I'm confused on making you my girlfriend. But if you're still talking to him, again, he's not stupid, you're not stupid. If he's still talking to you and he does not see you as a girlfriend, again, confusion, it's an insurance policy. You're literally going to be there until something better comes along. That's what it is. If he does not see you as a girlfriend and you're still in the picture, it's for assets. It's purely assets. Now, the thing here is he justified to do this? Is it right of him to do this? And I would say it depends on how you look at it. If he is leading you on, absolutely. Knowing he doesn't want a relationship, absolutely 100% wrong. He's in the wrong for doing this. It's effed up. It's for a personal gain. However, at the same time, I would argue if he is unsure, you can't get mad at, men are risk avoidant. Humans are just risk avoidant. You can't get mad at him for not just jumping into a relationship with you. Attraction is not a choice. He can't help who he is or isn't attracted to. And just because he's not attracted to you doesn't mean he just wants you out of his life. Which again, depends. If he's using you for assets, that's a problem. But if he does like you, but he's just not sure, that's unfortunate. But is it actually a bad thing? Because I always argue this, that morale is not in attraction, it's in action. So you can't get mad at a guy for not liking you, but you can get mad at him for leading you on. But if he is actually confused yet still wants you in his life, that's just risk avoidance. There's nothing wrong with that. That's human nature. It's when he's leading you on that it becomes a problem. And I would say when a guy says he's confused, it's actually what he says after that, whether he's trying to convince you or not to stay, that becomes the problem. Because if a guy says I'm confused, that's a pretty clear sign that, I'm not convinced, I'm not sure. What you do with that information is on you. But you can't get mad at a guy for not liking you. You can only get mad at him for not or for leading you on and not being transparent. So the next question would be, well, what do I do, Elliot? If that's the case, what do I do? I like him. I don't want to just drop him because what if he does change his mind? Hey, don't worry. In my course, Attraction Academy, I talk about this a lot, but I'm going to touch on it here. I talk about red flags, doing your detective work, and most importantly, the ultimatum at 6 to 8 dates. If he is telling you this stuff, and the context is a little rocky, and he's telling you this stuff at 4 or 5 dates, I'd cut him off. Don't even wait for 6 to 8 dates. If he's telling you this date 3, 4, 5, and you go along with it, you are negotiating that it's okay, let's see what happens. And guess what? If he is emotionally unavailable or if he is unsure by that time, again, 4 dates in, 5 dates in, and he's still unsure, I'd cut it off because newsflash. Guys know early on what they want from a woman. Guys know early on if you're girlfriend material or not. Usually date 1 or 2, okay, or prior to that. They know. So if you're on date 4 or 5 and he's pulling this shit out, what he's actually doing is what I call a renegotiation. Again, if you want more information on that, I really emphasize it in my course. But he's trying to see how you act, react, what you allow, what you don't allow, and that renegotiates the contract, the context of the situation. So an example I use in all my videos, is if you and a guy are talking, not even him, just some random, if you and a guy are friends with benefits and you're talking and you're hooking up and things like that, let's say one day you're laying in bed and you're like, hey, you know what? I want a relationship with you. And he says, well, hey, I like you, I just don't feel the same way. And you might, well, that sucks, okay, whatever. And then you guys go your separate way, but then the next day you come back over and you continue to hook up with him. He should only assume that you're okay with friends of benefits because he turned down your offer of a relationship. You know that, he knows that, you're not on the same page, yet you're still in the picture. So he should only assume that you're okay with friends with benefits. Otherwise, why would you come back into the situation, the scenario? This is no different. If he talks you into it and you stick around after 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dates, okay, thinking he's going to change his mind, he's not going to. He has no reason to. So ladies, I guess to sum this up, if a guy is telling you he's confused, it means he's not sure about you, yet he doesn't want to cut you off because he wants access to the assets. And if that's the case, it's wrong. But if he is truly unsure, then, again, morale is not in attraction, it's in action. It's if he misguides you, misleads you, if he manipulates you to stay knowing he doesn't want a relationship, that's when it becomes a problem. And so you're going to ask, well, how do I know that? Ladies, context, and I teach all this in my course, context and in 6 to 8 dates. Okay, if he's saying at date 4 and it kind of caught you off guard, date 5, then what he's trying to do is slow down the context. He's trying to change the context. It's feeling like it's a relationship. It's getting a little more serious. He's trying to take a step back and see if he's trying to negotiate to take a step back and if you're okay with this. Okay? I would just cut his ass off. So with that being said, ladies, I love you all. Take care and peace.